Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Golden Rosa Tarot. It has been a while since I've done a reading. Um, like most of you, my human existence has been a little extra, we'll say, spicy lately, and it can be hard to try to come in front of a camera and help other people when you're drowning yourself. So anyway, I did want to come back and do a reading with you guys. And today, the topic is going to be how to become a portal of light with Goddess Isis. And I suppose you could also say how to access a portal of light. If you're not sure what a portal is, and that's fair, it sounds like kind of a new agey term. It's just the definition of portal is just a door, a gateway, or an entrance. So, how do we become a door to light? How do we become an entrance to light? And what is light? But in this case, I think information, illumination, spiritual growth. Um, Obviously, the dark plays a big role in our spiritual growth as well. So it's not to say that the light is always preferable to the dark. However, today I did pull this card off camera, which is usually I don't pull any cards off camera, but I wanted to get kind of a context for this reading because I have just started working with Isis this month, or inviting her to work with me. So it's a new relationship, and I asked her, I was like, "What do you want to teach us today?" And this is the card that came out, and this gave me a little idea of how to structure the reading and which decks to use. And just to be in complete integrity, because I'm very new to working with her. I'm just going to put that right out there. I'm not an Egyptologist. I'm not a historian. I honestly haven't even had like a super visceral experience of her energy yet. And so I realized as I was tuning in for this reading that I do need to address that. I need to address that I am not an expert in Isis. I do not have a very strong long-term relationship with her. It's very new, very like um, meet and greet kind of. She's been on my pantheon of goddesses for a long time. I do mention her in my prayers, but I haven't spent the time to really one-on-one get to know her. And so I'm just letting you know that in this reading, I am not claiming to channel her. I'm not claiming that I'm her voice. I'm not claiming that she's speaking through me. But she is, by all accounts, a very accessible and loving goddess. She is someone who wants to work with us. She is the goddess of curing the sick, bringing the deceased to life. Well, that was her mythology, if you want to look into that. She's very magical. She's a mother, so she's a very loving, magical, powerful goddess. She started out as an ancient Egyptian goddess, and she was known as Aset at that time. Her name means throne, and she is associated with Sirius, which is the bright star in the sky at this time of the year, and somewhat like that term of the dog days of summer, when the summer is like at its height of heat. The star Sirius is known to bring guidance and wisdom and spiritual awakening, and also to be a portal to the higher realms. And it was so interesting because I wanted to talk about that, and I didn't realize that she was the goddess associated with Sirius. So that was such a cool synchronicity. Like I said, I'm very new. If you do have a relationship with her, if you do know a lot about her, um, I'm not claiming to be on that level. I'm just I'm just winging it. So um, I do have over here on the left a little offering to her. It is a glass of cool water. I read somewhere that she likes cool water, and if you can imagine being in ancient Egypt or Egypt in general in the summer, or wherever you're at in the summer, this like really hot time of year, makes perfect sense why she would enjoy that. I do try to make little offerings to the spirit guides I work with when I feel like that's appropriate, when I feel like they're, it's always appropriate, but some of them I feel a little like more like relaxed with, like the ones I've grown up with, and some of them like Isis, I have not. You know, she wasn't a part of my um, spiritual mythology growing up. So anyway, I did take some notes. It's probably showing up here because it is all pretty new to me. I just want to give like a basic overview of her general energy, her association with Sirius. You may or may not have heard of like the Lionsgate portal, which is supposedly like this height of like spiritual enlightenment and manifestation. Um, it's not a holiday, or not a holiday that holiday's not the right word. It's not something I celebrate, and I have my reasons for that, and they come from watching another YouTuber, the Cosmic Space Witch, who goes really deep into the potential for it being this sort of energy siphoning, made up ritual. And I don't know. I honestly don't know what's true and what's not true, but I do have a sort of intuitive hesitation towards joining group rituals if I don't have all the facts. So just a little word of caution there if you about the 8-8 Lionsgate and all that. But that may be a very like new age sort of way of presenting an energy, which is very illuminating, that we can access at this time of year. You know, how do we access portals of light? You know, this height of summer, the height of the sun, when the Sirius goes through a period of time when it's hidden. And if you don't know what Sirius is, it's the star in the sky that is kind of like off to the left from like the bottom of Orion's belt. It's the brightest star in the sky, and it's known to have these very like mystical powers, like when it's in the sky. And then also, or when it's like, you know, in its season, which is in summer, when dog days of summer. Um, Basically, I'm throwing out a lot of word salad, but if you know about this stuff, then you know about it. If you think it's interesting, then please, by all means, there's a lot to explore with these topics. There's a lot to look into that's interesting. I'm not here to necessarily give the rundown on it all, but I just want to give a little context. So here in this time of year that's associated with the dog star Sirius, and Isis is also associated with Sirius, and she's coming through when I asked for a message today with portals of light. So I'm just going to read a little bit of it from the book of what that card means. You are growing in power and awareness. You have had breakthrough insights where you realize that you are not who you thought you were. You are, in fact, a much vaster being. Sometimes this was shocking and uncomfortable and difficult to accept. At other times, it was gentle and made sense to you. You are learning to integrate this awareness of your vast self into your life. The practical consequences of doing so are extraordinary. To live with less and less fear and insecurity, to become more detached, more passionate, more loving, less demanding, to need less and receive more, to feel more joy, to exert less force, to attain. You're also capable of exerting healing influence beyond time and space, which means you may be able to help free yourself and others if you choose to share your healing gifts. So, yeah, it's very similar to Isis's energy, being a healer, being very magical. And on the topic of healing, I just want to share that I do set the intention. I do Reiki, so I do set the intention during these readings to have Reiki energy flowing through my hands, through my voice. It's a very gentle energy. It's not really going to do anything to you except maybe relax you. Or who knows, you know, there's always room for the miraculous, but it's kind of just a little massage for your energy. If you would like to feel the Reiki energy in this video, you can say yes. If you don't want to feel it, you can say no. It's completely consensual. I just want to put that out there. If you'd like to receive Reiki energy as well as the reading, that's available to you. And all right, I know, I know my beginning was a little choppy. I feel like the kid who's like literally scrambling before the test because I just had the idea today. I was like, I haven't done a reading in ages. This is what's happening in the world and the cosmos. This is, the goddess I'm connecting with. Like, I'm just gonna wing it. And then I was like, okay, I gotta write down some notes. So, um, anyway, thank you for understanding that, sometimes we just gotta jump out there and, full disclosure that I'm not claiming to be something I'm not, but, this is just kind of like, let's wing it. So what I'm going to ask for in this reading is to connect to the healing archetype of Isis. Like I said, I'm not claiming to channel her. I don't have that close of a relationship with her that I'm claiming to speak, like Isis is speaking through me or something. But, just because it's a new relationship isn't a reason to explore it, right? So, okay, I hope that's clear. I would like to start off, though, with just a little gift for her, just to set the tone. This beautiful mantra I heard the other day for her, just to invite her in if she'd like to be here with us. Dua ase nebero. Dua ase nebero. Dua ase nebero. So that's just a mantra to say thank you to this goddess of life. Thank you to her for being a way shower for us, for, to the degree that I've connected with her, like all of you have that same ability to connect with her. It's not some mystical thing that, of course we can, tempt to the goddess with, water and other offerings and devotion to spend more and more time and energy with us. So anyway, let's get started. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope everyone's hanging in there. I know it's, as always, I always say it's kind of a rough time on earth and for everybody, I think, right now. So sending love and prayers to you. May you all be blessed in your lives. May you all be happy. And let's explore this concept of portal of light. And I think that can go both ways. Like I said, that we can either be a portal of light or we can find portals of light if we need it. So, dear goddess, dear healing goddess Isis, you came through today with this message of portal of light. And so I'm just asking you for a couple of messages through the tarot to give us a little structure on what archetypes might be helpful for us to contemplate, meditate on, think about. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, I just read the jumpers because that way I know I'm not picking it with my brain, but sometimes it takes a while. Dear great goddess Isis, will you please gift us one more archetype to work with in becoming a portal of light, or receiving information on how to access portals of light. All right. Let's see what our surprise first card is here. Oh, we've got the Daughter of Pentacles, so that is the Page of Pentacles. We have the Hangman in reverse, and we have the Chariot. So this is the Wild Unknown Tarot, and so she uses different terms. The Daughter of Pentacles would be the Page of Pentacles. And just intuitively to look at this card, you see that this little deer is kind of like, to the degree that its physical body is connecting with these lines, those lines are all kind of black and white, right? It's like being in this like dense physical realm. You know, things can seem dark, they can seem gray, they can seem like kind of stuck or stagnant, you know, and it's in the higher realm of spirit and our higher consciousness that we have more access to these more vivid colors and more options. And I think it's interesting, this pentacle. I'm totally going off script here, but I'm just going to go with it. This pentacle reminds me of, it's over her head. I got this this stone recently. It's a peach selenite, and just bear with me here. I'm just going to tell a story. Okay, so peach selenite means insight. And what made me think of this is it's connected to our universal chakra. So you see where I'm going with this now? It's like she has this, like, a chakra is a spinning wheel of light within her body energy. So she has this light, this wheel above her head that's rainbow. It's not in the black and white. So to gain true insight, you must go within. The keywords are purity, energy healing, and protection. So your body has its own flow of energies or chakras that contain boundless potential to receive messages and clarity from the universe, including your universal chakra. The universal chakra is located towards the edge of your upper auric field. So it's saying it's like her upper aura there. And is represented by a golden glowing star. It connects you to the universal flow of energy. Think of it as your own personal gatekeeper to the knowledge of the infinite cosmos. While working with your universal chakra, you'll be able to go beyond your higher self and further develop your psychic abilities, and there you can confer with the divine. When you tap into the universal chakra and its transcendent energies, you become unbound from physical realms and gain ultimate enlightenment. To help activate your universal chakra, use peach selenite in meditation. Peach selenite is a unique crystal that has the capacity to self-cleanse and recharge without your intervention, much like your body can do with your chakras and energy. It can clear, open, and activate the universal chakra to elevate your higher self during meditation and spiritual work so you can reach your divine counsel. During meditations, you can break down negativity and reveal truth to yourself and the universe. Peach selenite promotes honesty, purity, and peace, and aids you in healing, balancing, and stabilizing the emotional, physical, and non-physical bodies. And the affirmation is, I am limitless, I am boundless, I go within to gain insight and understanding. So I'm just breaking all the rules today. I'm like, I am not channeling, I already said I wasn't, but bringing in a goddess that I barely know. I'm just going totally off the book and reading a card totally different than the literal meaning. But that's the fun of all this, right? I was like, the peach selenite, that is the way to go. So next we have the Hanged Man, represented by this bat hanging upside down, except in this case it is in reverse. So you can see if he was really hanging, he'd be upside down. And in the traditional deck, they show him with a halo, which is to show that when he's gone through this uncomfortable experience of being sort of, strung up by your feet and hanging upside down, he gains this halo, this clarity, this enlightenment. And so the hangman in the upright position shows how we can take those difficult times in our lives gain perspective and then move forward with a new perspective. So we can view our challenges as the portals themselves, right? They are the thing that brings forth the greater light, because in order to survive our challenges, we have to bring in more and more light into our being, into our, and even like light sounds very binary, but another way of looking at it would be space. I just read this beautiful book called A Flame by Pico Iyer. I highly recommend it. And it's about his time that he spent in Big Sur at this monastery, just staring at the ocean, and how granting himself space from his day-to-day life is what allowed him to go deeper into his life. So once again, it's kind of like that hangman energy, where you are removed from things and you see things from a different perspective, and you create an internal space which allows you to go forward with a new perspective. And then we have the Chariot, which is very beautiful energy. I love how there's this sort of like radiant sun over it, and look, and it's wearing it's wearing its crown chakra, its universal chakra around its neck. But the Chariot speaks of forward movement, but forward movement in the proper way. It's not just like blindly forging ahead. It's like you've gone through the trial, you've meditated, you've purified yourself. I read a quote the other day that said, suffering it's good for us because it purifies our heart and it removes the veils of the ego. So once we've tapped into this higher self and we've gone through our trials and tribulations, then we are able to move forward with this confidence that we didn't have before. And now, of course, it's always a cycle, and we're always going to come back around to another challenge, another challenge, another challenge. It never ends until you become enlightened, I guess. And I guess maybe it ends, or maybe there's a new step. Yeah, very interesting. So another thing today is I usually really blab away, and I'm kind of tired and I'm very hot. I'm going to try to make this not crazy long. I'm just trying to like create a little space here and not just stretch it out too far. So, dear Mama Isis, would you please come through for us today? Sorry, I'll shuffle on camera. And give us a plant that would help us to become portals of light. Sorry, okay. As I say, someday I'll learn how to edit it so that's like fast forwarded. But okay. Cordyceps revival. That's very cool. All right. Cordyceps is a mushroom. Number 26. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So in its upright, a cordyceps represents energy, renewal, soaring to new heights, opportunity, activation, and resurrection. When the energy is reversed, or in its like more negative expression, it means it's time to reconnect to spirit, a resistance to death, forgetting your power and weakness. And it is ruled by Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars in astrology. I'm not going to read the whole book. So the guidance says, it's time to soar to new heights. Energy is available to manifest your greatest dreams. Passion is in alignment with knowledge. Energy is in alignment with matter. Like the great eagle, you are blessed with the connection to the divine. You have an innate ability to live in the realm of spirit, yet remain connected and balanced within the realms of earth. From the height of the clouds where the Great Spirit dwells, the great eagle mirrors your ability to observe with expansive awareness and achieve great sight beyond the mundane. So it's not interesting because it's like that's kind of what we're talking about here with the hangman coming out of the darkness and into this new perception, right? Eagle and cordyceps represent the courage to channel. So there's an eagle in the card if you're wondering where the eagle came from. Mirrors your ability to observe with expansive awareness and achieve great insight beyond the mundane. Eagle and cordyceps represent the courage to channel the higher mind, ether, the realm of illumination and higher consciousness. If you have been walking in the shadows, you're being asked to reconnect to the element of ether, the divine, and your higher mind. Heal your broken wings with love and seek a higher ground to observe the greatness of what you're made of. And the key word for cordyceps is revival. Physically, people take cordyceps to recover from fatigue. And so plants have both a physical and a magical effect on us. So it's cool that it also revives our spirit. Very cool. I'm going to go now to animals, since we have a barking dog in the back. We also have our kitty cat. This is a kitty cat an old friend brought me a long time ago in Egypt, so I've always treasured that. All right, dear Mama Isis, thank you for this beautiful reading so far about connecting to being a portal of light. And do you have some sort of practical advice for us on how to do this? Oh, wow, look at this. We got the bat, we got the eagle, and now we have, I believe it's a phoenix. And this is really cool too. Under where it says portal of light, it says she glides on wings through time and space. So we have a bat, we have an eagle, we have a phoenix, we have enlightenment, revival, transformation. Okay. So the message from this card says, transformation, the phoenix. Phoenix is an ancient bird that will burn himself every few hundred years to be born anew. He diligently builds his nest with cinnamon and frankincense, and then with one clap of his wings he ignites his nest into a blazing fire. He endures a night filled with roaring flames and insurmountable pain. When the sun begins to rise, he too emerges from the ashes more brilliant and mesmerizing than the human mind can fathom. Phoenix comes with information medicine. He says you are also on the verge of a total transformation. Although you may still be living a current reality that your past self manifested, the medicine of this card foretells a profound change is approaching. You're in the space in between jumping timelines. This timeline is your transition from an old version of yourself into the new and evolved version of yourself. Do not get caught in the trap of believing your current reality defines what lies ahead. It's very possible you're projecting old limiting beliefs onto the situation. Trust that all your effort over the last years and months are in the alchemical process of manifesting. You're now in the moment before you shift into your highest, fullest self. You must believe the highest version of yourself is waiting and ready to be self-actualized. Beautiful. And I do want to take a card from the Inner Child deck because I believe that's sort of the root of our consciousness, right? Is our inner child. So, for dear Mother Isis, what message do you have for us today from our inner child? How can we work with our inner child to become portals of light? Thank you. And the message there is say yes. Now is the time to be open and receive. Being truly open to life can be a bit unnerving. There are so many possibilities and unknowns. We could never analyze them all. While there's much wisdom in weighing the options before us, sometimes there will be aspects of the future that we can never truly know until we walk that road. It is in these moments that we have to take the leap of faith and say yes. If you have pulled this card, now might be the time to open up and receive. If we are not open to the many good things in life, they can pass by. Practice saying yes to what you know will help you grow. There is abundance all around us. Sometimes we just need to make space for it to arrive. And here's some journaling prompts for that. How does it feel in your body when you say yes to something new? How does it feel not knowing the outcome when you say yes? If it's a negative feeling, what is something you might be able to do to feel more positive about the unknown? Many times in life, we come to a place where we need to make a decision, and in these moments, we might experience confusion or lack of clarity. Calling on the insight of a trusted friend can be extremely beneficial, as another's perspective can help bring about new revelations we might not have seen ourselves. If you have pulled this card, it might be time to seek guidance on the many options before you. Cool. um, so since we're talking about light today, I'm going to pull a card from this Path of Light Oracle, which is teachings from the Bhagavad Gita. Dear Mother Isis, will you please give us a message through the Bhagavad Gita on becoming a portal of light? Oh, okay. I got two. Wise action and the self. Okay, so for wise action, it says, you're here to act, to be engaged in life, not to be inactive and indifferent. You have work to do, a contribution to make to those around you and the world at large, so get on with it. You will act wisely when you have an even mind and an open heart, so work consistently to reside in this state. You do not attain freedom by inaction. No one attains perfection by renouncing work. No one can be inactive even for a second, as all are compelled to action by their inner nature. Now, I doth protest because I think resting is actually very, very productive. Just gonna throw that out there. The intrinsic nature of life, of everything in the universe, is to reach out into the unknown, to the edge of itself and beyond, and expand and become more than it presently is. This force permeates the universe, driving energy and matter ever onward. We see it play out in the evolution of species on Earth. We see it in ourselves in the unceasing desire for growth, improvement, and new mountains to climb. Human beings don't wake up in the morning wishing they were less than they were yesterday. No one wants to go backwards in an area of life. We all have an inherent desire to progress and expand in every way. It is the driving force of life. This verse highlights one of the key themes of the Bhagavad Gita, that we are here to act, to be engaged with life, and to contribute to life. We are not here to be inactive, indifferent, and self-centered. We have work to do. This work is our contribution to ourselves, our family, and the world, and we should get on with it. This is really like cracking the whip. Do your duties. Action is superior to inaction. Nothing can be achieved through inaction, not even maintenance of the body. All right, so not just any action will do, for misguided action is just as unhelpful as inaction and equally as common. Just as we have all experienced being weighed down by inertia and heaviness, we have also experienced being lost in unwise action, compulsive action, or action that is hindering rather than helping us. Yeah, and that's why I want to go back to my little pulpit here and say, you know, when I was talking about that book about um, the writer who goes to the monastery and just takes time out of life to reflect. I think that's really important. I think that is the feminine energy of life, is depth and feeling and connection, and we can't realistically always be in this very like forward going energy. It's not healthy or possible to always just go forward. We do need pause, we need space, we need reflection, we need peace, you know. um, but it, you know, given the time of the year that we're in, I think this is like the most sort of like solar, you know, masculine energy as in action. You know, summer is just like that height of activity. So I think we're channeling that today. This, you know, it is really important to get on with it. And I'm feeling that today myself too, because I'm like, I was kind of hesitant. Like, do I do a reading about a goddess I don't really know that well? And then like something in me was like, just do it, you know? So there, I just want to say, you know, that I believe there's a genius in just doing it. And I believe that there's a genius in doing absolutely nothing as well. So, since this is my reading, I'm going to tell you how I think it is. All right, and we have the self. And once again, you know, the Bhagavad Gita it's a religious text, so like all things, you know, it has nuances and wisdom, and it is something to, you know, meditate on and consider the messages. But you know, I'm not a dogmatic person that says, oh, well, this book says this, so that's, you know, the ultimate truth. I think ultimate truth is something you feel deep in your being, you know, and it's nuanced and it changes throughout our life. Okay, this is beautiful. The self. You are part of the one infinite and eternal being that cannot be harmed or destroyed. You exist eternally. Your true self is unchanging and is beyond the fluctuations of earthly life, residing in a space of peace, love, and wisdom. Tune in with your true self now. Okay. Wasn't I just saying that? So, self was not born and will never die. Existing, it will never cease to be. It is birthless, eternal, and immutable. The self does not die with the body. So, I'm just going to go off book here because it's going to be a shorter reading. Um, and what I'm getting from this is our transformation, you know, all these wings that we have going up here. It's this sort of push pull thing, you know. It's like when a woman is in labor, you know, she contracts, you know, there's contraction. There's a time to push, there's a time to move forward, you know, and then there's a time to be still, a time to be in peace. And I think it's finding the right balance between those two energies, you know. Do you need a time out? Do you need to restore your soul? Do you need some cool water? Do you need to peace out and meditate and create stillness and space within? Because that's the only way you can actually do, like, this doesn't say action, it says wise action. Well, how do you get to wise action? Is you have to tune into yourself. And look, once again, we have this person who's following their, look, it's like what we're talking about, that universal chakra, this higher knowing above their energy field, and they're following that to source energy. You know, they're finding like, this is my highest self, and my highest self is going to take me, you know, here's the sun again, you know, my highest self takes me to my internal knowing. It takes me to this like ultimate source. And that's why this horse, you know, pulling the chariot, it's led by that higher knowing. It's led by this sense of like being in the Tao and the flow of life. It's not just it's not action, it's wise action, you know. So yeah. Sermon over. uh, so I'm going to pull a card now from the White Light Oracle. Dear Mama Isis, what message do you have for us today? Oh, well, there it is. From the White Light Oracle. Oh, look, we have the Shaktipat of Seahorse. And that's cool. I'm going to put it over here because it is another horsey. So we got some little theme of horses here. The seahorse, I guess. Number 31. All right, this is really beautiful. The Shaktipat of Seahorse. As you embrace your inner essence, you will be at peace with who you are, including your vulnerability, and no longer see the need to conform to social ideals which have no true residence for your heart. You're encouraged to trust your intuitive recognition of which environments and relationships harmonize well with you, supporting your spiritual growth and well-being on all levels. You have the innate capacity to manifest. Relax and you shall attract all that you need. Shaktipat is a transmission of grace. It is an enlightening gift of energy that enables mastery. It empowers us to seek environments that are conducive to our well-being rather than damaging ourselves by trying to adapt to external situations or societal values. It teaches us that we are enough, that we have the innate spiritual magnetism to attract what we need into our lives. We gravitate away from falsehood and towards authentic being. Name for the seahorse-like shape, the hippocampus is the neural center in the human brain. It helps us navigate our way in the world, and when we can thrive, and where we can thrive and best avoid negative influences. This oracle assures you that your path and what supports you will be unique. If you attempt to fit into social constructs or cliques that don't reflect your essence, you will weaken yourself and become more susceptible to negativity. You are encouraged to consider what is natural and best for you, to be honest and authentic, even in your vulnerability. It is only from that place that you can respond appropriately. When you are in your authenticity, much power and grace shall rally to support you. The world can seem unfriendly or unsupportive at times, but this oracle assures you that as you honor who you are, you will naturally find friends and supportive assistance to obtain all you need. And there's a prayer that goes with this card. I trust in the uniqueness, sacred beauty, higher purpose, and perfect inner potential that I am. I surrender into the unconditionally loving acceptance that Spirit has for me, and heed the encouragement to be my true self. I do not need to adapt, compromise, or alter myself to be like anyone else. My true nature is divinely designed, and I seek to cast off ego concepts like tattered old clothes, standing peaceful, luminous, and unshackled in my own true nature. From that place of truth, I feel connected to my heart. I can easily attract all I desire from this place of authenticity and integrity. May all beings know such peace, comfort, and love. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. But I want to pull a card from Isis now that we've been working with her on camera. Because I know I said pull that other one off camera. So, dear Mother Isis, thank you so much for being with us today and showing us the way to become portals of light, how to access the portal of light in our lives. And I have all these cards upside down here. 1 second. I don't know how this happened. Okay. These cards are, I just got this deck and these cards are kind of sticky. And that's part of the reason why I pulled the card off stage too, because they stick. Okay, dear Isis, do you have a ending message for us tonight? Thank you so much for being with us, for this guidance. becoming a portal of light in this most light time of year, this hottest, brightest, most transformative time of year. So we have a message for us tonight as we close out here. I'm trying to figure out how I can make these cards less sticky, maybe with time, but they are kind of difficult to navigate. All right, I'm just going to take the top one there because they're all sticking together. And we got enter the chamber of healing. Healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. And just bear with me, this doesn't have an index. Okay. Okay. A spiritual gift is coming to you now. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing from the Lady of Isis, Mistress of Magic, to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear as it should be. Take your time and create space in which your magic and energy can flow, and expect your miracle. This oracle comes to you as a message. Prepare for great change because they're on their way now. When Divine Lady Isis offers you a healing gift of magic, it is something to accept as a gift of unconditional love with open arms. It will be offered without agenda, with the only intent being for your highest good and spiritual growth. It will not necessarily look or feel like you expected, but you'll realize it in the unfoldment process or circumstances that it was a spiritual healing gift from the divine, even though you may not have immediately recognized it as such at the time. Time in sacred space to contemplate and reflect is extremely helpful to receive divine intervention as consciously, swiftly, and fully as possible. Sacred space can be a physical place that allows you to put your day-to-day activities and thoughts to one side and instead indulge in just being who you are in that moment. It might be a place in nature, your meditation place, or a healing room or sanctuary that you have where you can be alone for a time, or even a meditation group or circle. Sacred space allows you to simply be, to not have to think, sort things out, or analyze, but to open, rest, allow inspiration or guidance to come, and when it chooses, and allow for to come as and when it chooses, and to allow for the mysteries of healing to occur. And there's an incantation with this card. Healing comes, healing flows, healing blossoms, and it shows. I thank Lady Isis for her love and light, her healing gift through spiritual night. Brings me now to light of day, and healing blossoms without delay. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I love you all dearly. And thank you, Mother Isis, for coming through and showing us some very beautiful messages for how we can become portals of light and activate portals of light within our life. Thank you all. Blessings to you.